Hi, welcome to this video. My name is Rohan. I'm a sales rep with Midwich, Australia, based in Melbourne. And today we're going to be introducing you to these two amplifiers, the Ecler CA120 and the Ecler CA120HZ. The Ecler CA120 is a low impedance amplifier that provides 2 times 60 watts at 4 ohm impedance. The CA120HZ is a high impedance amplifier that offers 120 watts at 70 or 100 volt line levels. The first thing to note about these amplifiers is their compact size. Let's have a look. I've got an A4 sheet here to give you some idea of the actual size. Very compact, great for use in behind screens and those type of places where a traditional amplifier wouldn't fit. And with our high impedance version having 120 watts, it allows you to run quite a number of speakers off the one compact amplifier. Now let's flick the units around and have a look at what we've got on the rear. The unit has 3 inputs. The first 2 are unbalanced audio inputs, and line 3 can either be unbalanced audio input or a microphone input, and we can also have phantom power available on that connection. We have a series of dip switches to configure the amplifier and some of the additional features. We have an RS-232 port, which allows it to be controlled via Ecler software or third-party control systems such as the Atlona, Crestron, AMX, Extron, RTI Kramer, and a whole lot more. The remote port allows us to use source selection and volume control, and it's compatible with the range of wall plates available from Ecler. Now we're going to turn around and have a look at the front panel. So on the front panel we have a multi-use dial, which is a push button as well as a dial. We use that to control our volume and also to get into our additional settings. The top line shows us our volume, bass and treble control. The next line shows us what our source selection currently is. The last line shows us if we have any audio on the input, whether we've hit our clipping limit, the mute status, standby status, and this little one here is actually an IR receiver for the Ecler remote control, which is included with the unit. One of the interesting features about the Ecler amplifier is its talkover function. This is activated by using the dip switches. This is sometimes referred to as ducking. So it's quite unique in an amplifier of this size, and you can have it triggered from our microphone input, which is available here on the rear of the panel. So we're going to talk about the series of dip switches that we have here. This is how we control a lot of the functions within the amplifier. We have our high pass filter, 70 Hz, 50 Hz. The next one selects line 3, whether it should be our microphone input or our unbalanced line input. Auto standby on and off, that's quite important because as a lot of you know, sometimes when that auto standby kicks in, it can be a second or 2 delay, which does annoy people, so you can turn that function on or off on these amplifiers. Our talkover function, whether we want to enable that or disable that. The noise gate, and we select whether we are using one of the wall controllers remote panels using the final dip switch. Now let's jump over to the computer and we'll show you what the Ecler software looks like. So we've now launched into our Ecler Manager software. We're connected to a CA120 low impedance amplifier, and that's just with an RS-232 to USB adapter. You can see what amplifier we're connected to, if we are connected or not, serial port on our computer, and what preset we're adjusting. There are 5 presets on this amplifier. save the presets, the firmware version that we're using, and we can use this software to upgrade that firmware version. If auto standby is turned on or not, and this is configured through the dip switch. Do we want preset 1 to come back up on startup? And do we want to lock the panel at the front of the unit so people can't make adjustments from the actual amplifier? And all we have to do is click that on or off. We can see we are on stereo output mode. Again, this is configured via dip switches. If we have a remote connected, and there are two ways to sort the remote. You have inputs and presets. So on the remote control panel, this is how we configure that. Down below we have the settings for our inputs. Now line 3 we have configured on our dip switches as microphone, otherwise we would see line 3 here. We can select which sources are on or off, as well as some basic adjustments. The microphone configuration, we have noise gate and talkover functions. Now these are turned on or off via dip switches, but we need to use the Ecler Compact software to make the fine adjustments. On the right we have our master volume control, which I can drag up or down. Now if I turn the volume control up or down on the actual panel, you can see it's quite responsive, and we can hit our mute on and off. At the bottom of the screen we have a log, so we can then troubleshoot the amplifier should we need to at a later stage. One of the nice things about this system is that we can actually save our setup and put it into another amplifier. We'll just chuck it into desktop and we'll say setup 1. Save. Now we can go to our next amplifier, say file, open, setup 1, connect to the device, and we want to send that config file to the amplifier. And we're done. We've just set up the amplifier again. These compact little amplifiers, jam-packed full of features. We couldn't cover them all in this video. For more information, please see the links below or contact your local Midwich sales rep. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.